For 55 days now, I've been free from cannabis when I quit cold turkey. And just a few days ago, I was diagnosed with ADHD at 28 years old. I'm making this video in order to help me process that. And not only that, I'm making this video because I vow to myself that every time I hit a milestone on the I Am Sober app with cannabis and possibly benzodiazepines, I'm going to make a video reflecting on that journey and on the sobriety, because then it just helps cement the path that I'm walking currently. And I also wanted to make this video because I wanted to say that for most of my life, I've been self-medicating. For most of my life, I really thought that cannabis was helping me. I thought it was helping me stay grounded. I thought it helped me with my anxiety. I thought it helped me be more creative. And I just thought it helped me overall with my mood. Now with my recent ADHD diagnosis, which is possibly one of the best things that's ever happened to me, I've come to the realization that the entire time I was just self-medicating with substances, whether it be alcohol, whether it be cannabis, whether it be benzodiazepines. Those were really my main vices. I've experimented with other things, but I was never a big fan of stimulants. Even now, when I am taking ADHD medication, I was hesitant to get on the stimulants. And currently I'm taking L-Vance, which is also known as Vyvanse in the States, and I'm only taking 20 milligrams a day. I opted in for the smallest dose because I want the minimal effective dose. And I remember once when I was 18 years old during the summer, we were freestyling, smoking joints with friends, and I was just like, I was in my freestyle, I was like, man, I never feel happy unless I get high. And honestly, that's how I felt. For most of my life, I always felt like I was depressed. I always felt like there was something missing. And when I smoked weed, when I got high, I felt like myself, you know, I felt normal. And I felt like that was my baseline. Now I realize that I was self-medicating with the cannabis because I've had undiagnosed ADHD my entire life. And it's taken me 28 years to get the diagnosis. And that's why I say this is the best thing that's happened to me. Because my mental problems and my neurological disorder has finally come to light. You know, in these last few days and this last week has been so profound, to be honest. Even before I got my ADHD diagnosis, I've started exploring my relationship with God again. And I've started reading the Holy Bible. Some of you might have seen that I post YouTube shorts reading like a psalm a day. And that has brought me so much more joy. That has brought me so much more comfort. That has brought me so much more knowledge. I'm not going to come on this channel and preach to you guys like, oh, you need to find God, you need to find Jesus. But I'm just going to share my experience and what's working for me. I've started exploring the Bible and exploring my relationship with God a few days before I got my diagnosis. Then I got my diagnosis for ADHD. And now I am on medication for ADHD. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm taking L-Vance, which is also known as Vyvanse, 20 milligrams a day. And I have a psychiatrist. Soon I'm going to be seeking out a therapist as well, so I can start cognitive behavioral therapy, because for ADHD, medication is just one piece of the puzzle. And I want to have the full picture so I can become the best version of myself. But I can already feel my pattern, like my thinking patterns changing. I'm already more calm. My rest is so much better. Even though I have vivid dreams and nightmares, I don't wake up with anxiety anymore. I'm not even scared in my vivid dreams or my nightmares anymore. Like I had a end of the world apocalypse type dream, and in that dream I was so calm and collected. I was like helping other people out. It was insane. And yeah, medication for me has been the missing piece, because my brain is neurodivergent. I'm not neurotypical. And if you're someone who struggles with cannabis usage as well, and you feel like you're using it to mask symptoms or to function in life, because that was truly my problem. I needed substances before in order to feel like I was normal, in order to feel like I was able to function. And for me, it was personally ADHD. I don't know how I didn't come to this conclusion before. I think I mentioned in another video that when I was 18, I remember my senior year, I remember telling one of my classmates, I was like, man, I think I have ADHD or ADD. I can't focus on my schoolwork. I can't focus on my homework. I can't focus on these books. But I was kind of known as a stoner at the time. So it was like, sure. It was like, are you sure it's not the weed? And I was like, man, it can't be the weed, because without it, I would be so depressed. I told him like, Man, I've been so depressed these past few years, and weed has really been the thing that has helped me through that time, through that period of my life, through that depression, which in a way it did, but for the wrong reasons. I didn't know of my diagnosis at the time because when I was a kid, I got tested when I was 8 and 12 for ADHD and other neurological diseases, but I never got diagnosed for anything. I never got diagnosed for anything. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to say neurological diseases, but you know, like, I was tested to see if I was neurodivergent. Maybe that's a better way of phrasing it. Like, maybe I need to be more careful with the phrasing of it. But because I don't really think ADHD is like a disease, you know. So, but yeah. So that's a quick video that I wanted to talk to you guys about, just raw, unfiltered thoughts right now. Just woke up this morning, and maybe further videos with cannabis, I'll make them more structured. But yeah, I'm happy that I'm cannabis free right now. Quitting was the best thing that has ever happened to my life. I'm now fully sober, no benzos, no weed, no alcohol, quit nicotine and tobacco over 3 years ago. I'm gonna get the cannabis numbers and the benzodiazepine numbers to that as well. I'm gonna get 3 years, easy. I have God, I have my ADHD diagnosis, so I actually know what's wrong with me. And I'm gonna find therapy as well. I'm gonna find a therapist and get into cognitive behavioral therapy. I have a psychiatrist now, building the foundation, and I really have the systems now in place in order for me to succeed, in order for me not to relapse. Because if you're familiar with this channel, then you'll notice that I have sobriety videos in the past where I was like cannabis free for almost 8 months, and then I relapsed. I always relapsed on substances, whether it be alcohol, whether it be benzodiazepines. I could never stay sober for an extended period of time. But now I'm proud to say that I'm over 3 years nicotine and tobacco free. I'm almost 2 years alcohol free. I'm coming up on 2 years alcohol free in a few months. And now I am over almost 2 months cannabis free. And I'm also going to almost be 2 months benzodiazepine free. And my life is only getting better. And as I said before, I probably sound like a broken record, but getting this ADHD diagnosis for myself has been the best thing that has happened to me. And also finding my relationship with God again has been one of the best things that has happened to me. I'm not here to preach on what you should do with your life. I'm just sharing my experience and my journey. And maybe that might inspire you to possibly seek out your own relationship with God, or possibly see if you have ADHD, maybe get a diagnosis from a medical professional. Because for so long, I didn't believe in psychiatrists or therapists. I thought the whole thing was a scam. I thought like, oh, you have to pay money in order for them to help you, but it's their job. They are so knowledgeable about the fact. So if you do have some sort of neurodivergence, if it's like actual clinical depression, maybe borderline personality disorder, which I thought I was bipolar for a minute, or if you have ADHD as me, then getting those answers will be the best thing that can happen to you if you're not neurotypical, because then you'll know the reasons why your mind works the way it does, and then you can work towards building the systems and putting the tools in place for you to succeed. Because without the right foundation, I think you'll only end up relapsing again. That's what I've seen with so many addicts as well, because I use the I Am Sober app, and I'm not here to talk down on people, but there's a pattern that I've noticed with people who relapse, because I've followed some people's journeys. I started my alcohol sobriety with some other people, my weed sobriety with some other people, you know. You get to learn more people in the community posts, and then sometimes I check up on them or follow them, and then only to see that they've relapsed. And everyone has different circumstances in life, but I believe it's truly because you don't build the right foundations, you don't build the proper tools and the coping mechanisms in order to succeed. And I'm guilty of that as well. You know, sobriety is not easy. Everyone faces different challenges and different struggles in their life, but sobriety is the way. And no matter what you go through, every action you take, every decision you make is a vote for your future self. So ask yourself, who do you want to be? And always remember that the sun always rises, even through the darkest of nights. Anyways, that's it for this yap session. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.